Okay, so think about this for a second. One person, right? One single spark that just sets off this massive cultural wildfire.
It really is something, how one individual can leave such a deep mark. Still felt now.
Exactly. And we're talking about Elvis Presley today, not just the jumpsuits, though we'll probably get there.
Uh-huh.
We want to dig into how he really fundamentally shifted music, fashion, and even like the whole idea of what it means to be famous.
It's incredible. Nearly 50 years since he passed, and his influence is, well, it's everywhere.
It really is. So let's start at the beginning, maybe. That sound, the sound that just shook everything up.
Right. Sun Studio, 1954. It's a great place to start. Because you have to remember the music scene back then. Pretty rigid, you know.
Yeah, very separate boxes. Pop here, country there.
Exactly. And R&B over here, but largely segregated, commercially speaking.
Sure.
That Elvis walks in, and reading about it, he wasn't exactly confident at first.
No. Apparently quite nervous, unsure what his thing even was.
Mm-hmm. But then it happened. That recording, if that's all right.
And Sam Phillips, he heard it instantly, that spark.
He did. It was that collision, wasn't it? That fusion. You had the raw energy of black rhythm and blues.
Which white audiences weren't really hearing much on mainstream radio.
Not like that, no.
Yeah.
And then you mix in the soulfulness of Southern gospel
Yeah.
and layer it onto a kind of country foundation. Boom. Rock and roll starts to take shape right there.
It wasn't just another song. It felt different. Rebellious, maybe?
Oh, definitely rebellious.
Yeah.
Compared to the, polite pop music of the day, this was wild, emotional. It wasn't just nice tunes. It was feeling.
A physical feeling, too, right? It wasn't just background music.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
The way he sang, the energy, the almost shouting sometimes, the sweat.
Yeah.
It was physical. It demanded you pay attention, maybe even move.
Yeah.
It connected in a way music hadn't quite done for that mainstream audience before.
And that connects directly to how he performed it, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
sound needed that kind of explosive delivery.
Precisely. He didn't just stand there with a guitar. The performance was electric.
It's sneer.
The snarl, yeah.
Yeah.
And the hips, of course, the famous hip shake. It was just raw energy poured onto the stage.
Which predictably caused a bit of a stir.
A bit. Huge stir. Parents were outraged. Preachers were warning everyone. It seems kind of funny now, looking back.
Yeah, the whole Ed Sullivan thing. Filming him from the waist up only.
Can you imagine? They were genuinely worried about the effect his dancing, his movements, would have on the morals of America.
But that controversy, that danger, that was part of the appeal for young people, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It felt like freedom, like breaking rules. He made the performance itself a central part of the whole package. It wasn't just about hitting the notes.
And you can see that legacy so clearly, performers who came after.
Oh, absolutely. Think about, well, Michael Jackson's incredible stage shows.
Or Prince.
Prince, definitely.
Yeah.
Beyoncé's power on stage. They all understood that the visual to performance, it's integral. Elvis really kind of blazed that trail.
But it wasn't just the music and the moves. His look was just as revolutionary in its own way.
Oh, for sure. Elvis understood image deeply. His style wasn't just random clothes, it was crafted. Part of the persona.
And it changed over time, right? Distinct phases.
Totally. You've got the 50s Elvis first, that iconic pompadour hairstyle.
Snuck back, yeah.
The black leather jacket that instantly says cool even now.
Uh-huh.
But also those like bright pink shirts.
Which was pretty bold for a guy back then.
Very bold. It was redefining cool, making it okay for men to be a bit more flamboyant maybe.
Then the 60s, the movie star look. A bit more laid back.
Yeah, more relaxed. Those Hawaiian shirts, the open collars, kind of an accessible, charming look, less overtly rebellious maybe.
And then Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
Yeah.
The 70s, that's a whole other level, isn't it? The jumpsuits,
Covered in rhinestones.
sequins, studs, everything. And the capes, big collars, pure spectacle.
It was so over the top, but somehow it worked. It became iconic.
And what's key there, I think, is how he just leaned into it. He wasn't afraid to be flashy, to challenge what masculinity looked like in terms of fashion.
He made it okay for men to embrace that kind of showmanship in their style.
Exactly. And you see those ripples today, don't you?
Definitely. Like Harry Styles playing with fashion norms.
Or Bruno Mars with that sharp, often sparkly stage wear.
Even Bad Bunny, just completely unapologetic and bold in his choices. Elvis kind of opened that door, you could argue.
He certainly helped push it open wider, but his influence, it goes even beyond the stage and the style. It gets into the whole idea of celebrity itself. And Graceland is sort of ground zero for that.
right. Graceland isn't just a house. It's a symbol.
A huge symbol.
Hmm.
You think about the stories, the things inside the customized Cadillacs,
Pink Cadillacs.
the private jets, the jungle room, even his jumpsuits displayed like, well, like royal artifacts.
He was maybe the first rock star to live like royalty, wasn't he? That level of lifestyle.
Arguably, yes. And in doing that, he kind of created the blueprint for modern megastardom, the private place that everyone's obsessed with.
The flashy purchases that become part of the legend.
The incredibly dedicated fan base, the whole package. He built this larger-than-life persona, and Graceland was its physical embodiment.
And people still flock there. Decades later, it's amazing.
It really is. It shows how strong that brand of Elvis, that mythos, still is. He didn't just achieve fame. He shaped how we think about fame.
It's wild because even if someone listening, maybe someone younger, hasn't like actively put on an Elvis record, they've definitely encountered him. He's just sort of soaked into pop culture.
Absolutely. He pops up everywhere. Cartoons like Lilo and Stitch.
Right. The whole Elvis obsession there.
Major movies like that recent Baz Luhrmann biopic. Vegas weddings, obviously.
Yeah.
Impersonators all over the globe.
He's just there. And you see bits of him in current artists too, don't you?
You really do. It's fascinating. That kind of swagger and stage presence, you see echoes in someone like Bruno Mars.
Yeah, I can see that.
The sheer showmanship, the theatricality, maybe a bit in Lady Gaga.
Ooh, interesting comparison. And the fashion boundary pushing we mentioned.
Harry Styles again, perhaps? It's not direct imitation, but the spirit is there. That willingness to be larger than life.
And Vegas. We mentioned the jumpsuits, but the whole idea of a massive Vegas residency.
He really pioneered that, didn't he? Turning Vegas from a place where careers maybe went to wind down into a prime destination for the biggest stars. That's a huge legacy right there.
So when you boil it all down, why does he still matter so much? What's the core thing?
Well, I think it's because his impact just goes so far beyond the records.
Yeah.
Yes, the music was revolutionary, but he was a cultural force, a disruptor.
He broke rules, lots of them.
He really did, across music, performance, style, even how we perceive fame. He challenged norms, pushed boundaries constantly.
He kind of blurred that line between the private person and the public spectacle, made rebellion look cool, made the stage this place of immense power.
Exactly. He didn't just play the game, he changed the rules of the game.
Which is why I guess that title still sticks, doesn't it?
It does, the king. It still feels appropriate somehow.
Because really, when you look at it all, Elvis didn't just change music. He kind of changed, well, everything around it, too.
Cultural earthquake, like you said at the start.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, here's something to think about. Which artist today do you think best embodies that multifaceted Elvis legacy? The sound, the style, the showmanship, the impact.
Good question.
Let us know what you think in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. And until our next deep dive, remember, TCB.
Take care of business.